What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping through to kick it with me. Um, we are going to talk about Black Ink Crew, Season 6, Episode 13, Kitty Kitty, Bang Bang. Okay, before we get into the episode, let me just say this, y'all. I'm finally starting to feel better. Kind of sort of just getting back to myself. It took a minute, though. Like, having a cold is miserable, but I'm finally starting to come back around and really feel like myself. I'm still a little bit congested, but I want to thank everybody for the well wishes, the get well soons, everybody that checked on me or whatever. I appreciate that. So thank y'all. Um, but anyway, so without further ado, let's talk about Black Ink Crew. So the episode starts out with the crew. Everybody's just lounging at the shop like they normally do. They just having small talk, talking about nothing for real, for real. Um, then Richard Duncan Penderhughes calls, okay, on the FaceTime. And everybody sees that Nikki actually did have a baby, okay? So everybody's excited and everything, which is cool. You know, the birth of a baby, that's always a joyous time, okay? But ain't nobody fucking with the mother. Like, Caesar said it in his confessional. He was like, man, too bad the mother is too bad the mother fucked up. And I mean, you know, babies don't ask to be born into this world, and you can't choose your parents. So, you know, I just hope that whatever the situation is with Richard Duncan Penderhughes and Nikki, I hope they just get it together. Whatever the situation is, because they got a lot of kids tied up in that foolishness, and I just hope that shit smooth out for the better. So, and then also, we need to find out for real who that baby's daddy is, who the pappy, okay? Um, I'm just saying, who's the pappy? We need to investigate that. So, moving on. Bay comes into the shop and she announces that she gonna have a bachelorette party. Rob agreed to have the wedding in 2 weeks, which I was disappointed about that, because I still just think that's crazy to try to do all that in 2 weeks. And I really thought Rob was going to stand his ground with Bay, but he relented. Bay gonna get married in 2 weeks, so we gonna see how that unfolds. Um, but in her talking about she was gonna do a bachelorette party, that's when Caesar's like, I had a ski trip planned. So you know, for a minute they was like, oh shit, you know, what we gonna do, or whatever. Donna comes up with the idea of, let's just have your bachelorette party at the ski lodge. So Bay cool, you know, Bay like, yeah, okay, cool, that's what's up, we could do that. um and again, I like Bay. She cool, I like Bay. So anyway, they agree to do that. Okay, then we got Sky and Allison kicking it over at, I guess, one of their apartments. I don't know whose it was, but they were kicking it, talking about nothing, talking about dick pics in the DMs and, you know, just bullshit. And then C shows up to talk about his meeting with Genesis. Okay, he, you know, going to download Sky on all of that. So he gets to talking, and it seemed like kind of he was beating around the bush a little bit. Sky's like, come on, get to the point. So he finally says, he gave her the rundown of what happened, and then he finally says, Genesis is angry, and he basically feels like you don't care about him, and that he needed you. Like, you wasn't there when he needed you the most, okay? Sky couldn't handle it. Sky immediately got super emotional, starts crying, and she still is like, I gave them both a better life. Like, you know, but this is the thing. I understand Sky has a lot of emotions involved, but it feels to me like it would just be more conducive to the situation if she would just learn to take some of her emotion out of it and just be better able to acknowledge Genesis, like, and what he's going through, because he's still the child in the situation. And like I said before, from his perspective, all he remembers is his mother walking away and leaving him, and not checking on him, not seeing about him. And he's just seeing this, her on this show from behind bars, and he doesn't have any other way of processing it, And I get where Sky is coming from. Like, of course she did that out of love. Like, she felt like she couldn't give them the life that they deserve, so she gave them up for adoption. But I just really hope Sky gets to a point where, like, she can just not get as emotional and just be willing to set her feelings aside for a second to process and acknowledge Genesis' feelings, because that's how he been feeling this whole time. Like, she don't care about his feelings. So, and by her being the adult in this situation, I just feel like, she should be able to just for a minute, just be able to take her feelings out of the equation for just a minute, long enough for her to get across to Genesis that she loves him and she did that for him. So anyway, girl, I've been watching Iyanla. So anyway, enough about that for the moment. So Caesar, Cheyenne, and Crystal, they out shopping for Christmas trees. And again, I want to just say, I really like how Caesar is showing up, spending time with his daughter, trying to be on this good trajectory with his baby mother. So I like that. So they looking for Christmas trees, and Cheyenne's 13. So she's talking about, asking him for a bunch of expensive gifts and everything. And I really liked that scene, because that means a lot to have your dad. As a little girl, to have your dad be present with you and to feel comfortable enough to ask your dad for stuff like that and not really have a care in the world, that shows that Caesar's doing what he's supposed to do and making that young girl feel secure and comfortable. As because we seen that she had had some bullying issues about her weight, and we saw how C's really just smoothed that out for her. So shout out to C's. I really like what's going on. And Cheyenne is a beautiful little girl. She's beautiful. So that was that. And I think also in that scene, that's when C's told Crystal that they are going on this ski trip. Crystal, I ain't really understand why Crystal started going in on him, talking about, well, you could take your daughter skiing. She ain't never been skiing. Why you can't just have the bachelorette party at the shop? Because C's told C's told Crystal, I'm not going to get her this weekend. I know I said I would, but we got the ski trip planned, and I don't think you would want her going, and it's going to be a bachelorette party type of situation. So anyway, Crystal goes on about that, and C's is like, whatever, because we know what C's had in mind. I mean, the title of the episode is Kitty Kitty Bang Bang. So So anyway, Melody and Lalo, they still living in the RV, and it's cute. It's cute, not just because they living in an RV, but it's cute because Lalo got Melody's back, even though he was acting jive funky in that episode when we found out about the tax situation with Melody. But Lalo got Melody's back, and it's cute. Melody had cooked and everything, and they sitting down talking. The baby was gone, and Melody tells Lalo that her aunt, her father's sister, reached out to her on Facebook and wants to meet her. And Melody is over the moon happy about it, because the family ties ain't all connected with Melody, her dad and her mom. And we'll get into that a little bit later. Melody explains to us a little bit later exactly what the deal is with that. So we did find out, though, right there in that scene, that Melody's dad left his family when he was 16 years old. So that was cool. Family identity, like just identity period, that's a lot. So I'm rooting for Melody. Now the crew all board the bus to leave for the ski trip. And it's the typical Black Ink shit, you know, it's this party bus with the poles and they turning up, they drinking. And the whole time, Cease is making googly eyes at Kitty. Kitty's making googly eyes at Cease. Now, they claim this supposed to be a secret, but anybody with eyes, when shit, eyes in the nose, because you could practically smell the damn, what they call them, pheromones coming off of them, you could tell that they trying to, yeah. So anyway, they get to New Jersey, okay? The house ain't ready yet, so they go, they sit down, they gonna eat. And again, Cease and Kit, they all in each other's face at the end of the table. Then Crystal and Cheyenne show up, okay? And of course, Cease is like, oh my God, like, are they for real right now? Okay, so they on some cock blocking. He thinking, you know, Crystal is on some cock blocking, but Bay invited Crystal, okay? So it's like, okay, you and Kitty want this to be a secret. So how was Bay supposed to know? Bay like, shit, I'm pregnant. I need somebody I could turn up with. So Crystal seems like the sober type, so I'm going to ask her to come along. And she did, you know, so whatever. I mean, so now Crystal is there. Crystal and Cheyenne. Now, meanwhile, back in New York, Melody has a client come through to do a tattoo, and they, you know, just chopping it up, kind of catching up with each other. He was her former roommate, so he's coming through to get a tattoo, and she tells him about the situation with her aunt reaching out to her and everything. And this is where we get a little bit more insight about Melody's family situation. Like, she doesn't know either side. Like, she doesn't know her father's family. She hadn't before this point known her father's family. She didn't know her mom's family because her mom married a black man. Her family disowned her, so she never got the chance to know them. So, you know, and this is important to Melody because she's got a baby and she struggled with that, you know, that identity when she was growing up. So she doesn't want her baby to go through that, and that's understandable. So she does a tattoo. The tattoo was absolutely gorgeous. I don't follow Melody on IG, but I follow Kevin and Bay, and they do some gorgeous work. Melody's work was gorgeous. Kevin's work is gorgeous. Bay's work is gorgeous. So anyway, that was that. It was cool. He liked the tattoo, of course. Now, back in New Jersey, they skiing, they having fun. It's cute, it's cool, and I love seeing Caesar with his daughter. His daughter is happy, she loves her dad, and that's cool. So, they ski, and when everything is kind of winding down, Caesar tells Crystal, basically, bitch, beat it, because I got some butt I'm trying to get, okay? So I need you to beat it. And then they go back to New York real quick, and this is where Melody goes to meet her aunt Coco. So she shows up at the apartment, and everything goes well. Everything is beautiful. The aunt is happy to meet Melody and Lalo. They go, you know, and sit down, and everybody's talking. And little baby Kai got to meet his cousins, and they were all just so cute. And they talk about Melody's dad. So Melody's dad apparently was kind of sort of like the provider for his siblings. And it was, I forgot how many siblings she said it was, but he was very young. And his mom, Melody's grandmother, looked to Melody's dad to basically provide, kind of protect and provide for his younger siblings, because she was a single parent and she was working all the time. He couldn't take the pressure of that. So in Coco's view, he left because he couldn't deal with that pressure, which is understandable. And again, back to Iyanla, if y'all seen the Mitchell brothers, you seen another case of the big brother trying to take care of all the little brothers. It just immediately popped in my mind when I was watching this scene. But yeah, so they talk about that, and but Melody is still happy, okay, because she got a chance to meet this side of her family, and they all are looking forward to spending more time together. So that was cool. And back at the ski house, they finally they make it into the house. The house is real dope. It's all decked out, laid out with all these nice little these cute life-size games, like with the cards and the Connect Four. So it was cute. And that's where Caesar at this point thought Crystal had left, but she pops up at the house, and this is where Bay in her confessional says that she told Crystal to come through because she needed a sober party partner, basically. So Crystal's there. Walt also invited some folks. They come through. And so all of this is going on in the house. And Sky was like, fuck y'all, I'm out. I'm going to bed. I don't know these people. I'm out. Which was kind of peculiar to me, because I thought, I was thinking Sky would be one of the ones trying to party or whatever. But she was like, no, I'm going to bed. So she rolls out. She goes to bed. Crystal is looking for a room, and there's no room in the inn, okay? Caesar is like, she goes and she tells Caesar it's nowhere for her to sleep, and Caesar's like, okay, well, what do you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? You here, you ain't supposed to be here. I'm trying to give me some butts, so get out, leave me alone, go on about your business. Anyway, Teddy and Jada, while the whole party is going on, you could clearly see that Teddy and Jada are vibing. They flirting, they vibing, and they end up smashing in the bathroom. I don't know. Why everybody on here doing it to everybody? Everybody doing it to everybody. Everybody, whatever. So, still at the party, this random chick approaches Caesar and is like, yeah, that's a nice party, and I know, I could tell you feeling me. And Caesar's like, what the fuck? What are you talking about? Like, nah, I'm good. But the girl, she's trying to get her camera time. Basically, is how I saw it. She was trying to get her camera time. So, that was that. Okay, and then Caesar and Kitty, they end up going to have this side conversation, right, while the party's going on, because Kitty is like, well, what are we even doing? Like, your baby mother is here, you talking to this random chick. I mean, we supposed to be spending time together. What really are we doing? So Caesar says, okay, cool, let's squash all that. I'm gonna set the bathroom up, I'm gonna run some water, we're gonna set it up, and we're gonna be good. Okay, cool. So Caesar scampers off to go do that. Kitty, I guess, is going to get all sexy for the tub. And when Caesar goes in the bathroom, the random chick is in the bathtub. Like, girl, you was only invited to the party, okay? And I don't know what she thought she was accomplishing, but doing all this extra, you ain't about to be on Black Ink Crew. What you doing? So anyway, the random is in the bathtub, and Caesar comes in and sees her in the bathtub, and Caesar's like, you gotta get out of here, like, ASAP. And while he's trying to get her out, Kitty comes in. Kitty gets mad. Whatever. Whatever. So, and then hold up, let's rewind. Speaking of random chicks, Tati is still hanging on. Who'd have thunk? You know, but I mean, it's cool. Like, she there. They seem to have accepted her into the fold. So, whatever. So, after all of these shenanigans go on at the party, the next morning, everybody's up. Sky in all of her glory. She's up and she's wanting to know what happened, you know, because she slept through it. So she's asking questions like, and I guess she just knows the questions to ask because it's a Black Ink party. She just comes out and was like, okay, did anybody sleep with anybody? And everybody looking like, no. I mean, and Donna's trying to divert attention because she knew what happened with Jada and Teddy. So Donna's like, okay, I'm gonna create a diversion. So she was like, well, yeah. Donna's like, I heard banging and knocking over top of because I was over top of C's room and I heard shit banging and knocking all night. And they was like, nah, you know, because Kitty was like, nah, we ain't do none of that. He was probably banging that girl, that random chick that he was all hugged up with. And then they looking at Crystal. Crystal spills the beans. She was like, no, I didn't do anything with Caesar. And then she was like, y'all need to be worried about Jada and Teddy. So of course Sky goes off, right? Sky takes, because she asked Teddy, she was like, did you do it to Jada? Of course Teddy denies it, and Sky unzips her jumper, whips out her titties, and was like, okay, these my lie detectors. If my titties jump, that mean you lying. And this fool this fool asked him again, and she like made her own titties like jump. And the dog was barking. She kirks on the dog. She like, shut up, Smokey. Look, I'm just saying, what would this show be without Sky? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, Sky, listen, Sky need help. Sky need help. So that was the show, okay? Because from that point, like, once she whips out her titties and she goes all the way off the rest of the way. And all we see from outside of the house, all we see is the outside of the house, but we hear shit breaking and shit like that. And then we see the previews for next week. It looked like it's going to be a good episode. But anyway, y'all, like I said, that was the end of the episode. I really wish Black Ink Crew had some sort of wrap up at the end of the season, not a 2, 3, 4 part reunion like Love and Hip Hop and the Bravo shows, but just like maybe a good hour for everybody to come together and talk about the season. I don't know why they don't do that, but we'll see. But yeah, y'all, that was the end of the episode, and I want to thank y'all again for coming through to kick it with me, talk about Black Ink Crew. Thank y'all for reaching out, commenting on my videos, get well and all of that. That was real dope. I like that. That was cool. I appreciate that. So I guess I will catch y'all in the next video. Y'all take care. See y'all next time.